Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Shane.
Class, so
Good morning.
you can actually unmute everybody. It's not a CE class. You don't have to be quiet and just sit back there with your eyes showing like this. Good morning, Latrina.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Giselle, Jack. I see you. We got everybody on here. That's good. I actually had more people come than I thought was going to be coming because everybody had things going on today. But I'm glad to see everybody. So, and good morning, Alicia.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, we're five after, so we can go ahead and get started. I didn't, some people were having issues getting the link, so I sent it to their email again. So hopefully everybody will get on. But yeah, so we're real excited to have this meeting. It's been a long process that as you guys have heard my video, or you came to the meeting or whatever, about how long we've been trying to get this done. And we're actually up and running, so it's exciting. This is our equity partner launch, and we're going to kind of just go over how this works and what it is, and just give you guys a little bit of the details, and be able to understand kind of how what we're doing and how we're going to grow it, and kind of what expectations are, and what the results could be looking like. So with that, I'm going to introduce you guys to Alicia. You already met Marie, and I'm going to go. Let's see if I can get my slideshow. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on Alicia's slide, and go ahead and introduce Alicia with the Surefire Group. Alicia, if you go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So nice to meet everybody. I was going to say, Shane, I think we have Marie here too. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is Marie on?
Yeah. She's here. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Well, so nice to meet everybody. My name is Alicia Herrera, and I am working with Shane. I am so excited to be here with your group. I help brokerages like your amazing brokerage build out title companies. There's a lot of legality, as you probably know, involved with closing a real estate transaction. So there's just it's difficult to do. So I help brokerages set these title companies up inside, and make them successful. And most importantly, which is why you're here today, be able to offer the agents an opportunity to be a part of that as well. I know that it's been a good couple years and then a bad couple years, right? And then we're all looking for ways to improve our businesses, to add secondary lines of income, side hustles, active income, active streams of income, as well as passive streams. And what we're going to be talking about today, and what I think Shane has briefed most of you on already anyway, is an opportunity to buy shares into the title company that Shane has launched, which is, I have to say something that I find extremely admirable, because he doesn't have to do that. A lot of the title companies, in-house title companies, that you see in other brokerages, they don't offer this opportunity, but Shane is offering you this opportunity. So, but we are here to kind of break down what that looks like. So you all can legally be paid and compensated for doing what you already do in your daily routine as a realtor anyway, and that's send deals to a attorney in your state, or closing company anyway if we're in Florida. So that is me and what I do and what I help with, and in a nutshell. And Shane, I don't know if you want to add anything to that before we get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. And I think most of you guys came to the meeting that we had or watched the video, but just kind of a recap. Alicia's with the Surefire Group, and they specialize in doing title partnerships with brokerages. And so in the past, I've tried to set up title partnerships with attorneys in Georgia and things like that, but that's not their model. And frankly, they just didn't really want to work. They didn't want to do it because, of course, they're going to be giving up, part of their revenue model. And so I just kept getting, delays and delays and delays, and never really happened. And so this time around, we went directly to the, Surefire Group, who actually specializes in this and also specializes in, like she said, some brokers will just, open the title company and say, hey, use the title company. We want you to use them. And then some brokers will do, where we have equity, they have equity shares, but they have experience with that. So they know how the equity shares work. They know how and she'll kind of go over that with you guys. And I explained it before, the group in Pennsylvania is the operating partner. They have the legal liability. They run all the trust accounts and do the wires and all the things that we don't really want to get involved in. And then we are on the limited side of the partnership. And then the shares of stock will be common stock. So it's not voting stocks. And Alicia can, kind of go more into that. But it's, so you're basically only taking part in just the profit part. So that's the only part you really want to be involved in, is the profit part. So, but no, I think we're excited about it. And also with our, and just so you guys know, overall, so in all the offices we have in Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina, we and our broker partnerships, we're around 450 agents. We are right now live and actually having transactions in Georgia and Florida. South Carolina is in progress. It's going to take a little bit more time. We have to get some attorney partners there as well. But so this partnership, this opportunity is shares of this entire organization. So it's not just your individual office, but it's also what happens in Florida, what happens in Georgia, and so it's one big entity. And I think the opportunity is large. Not only that, but of course, as everybody knows, we have the school. And so the school, we teach classes in multiple states. And so we're going to be sponsoring classes through the title company for the education piece. So it's not only our office that can use this firm. And so that's why, it's important that we have everyone who, yes, for the equity partners, but everyone, we want everybody to support the title company, but especially the equity partners, and even to other agents and other companies. Hey, you should give them a try. Of course, we want it to go smoothly. We want everybody to be happy with the service, and that's the goal. But I think it's a bigger opportunity than just whatever closings that we have in your local office. So I'm excited about that too. Does anybody have any questions up until now? I know Alicia's going to go over more details about the stock. Does anybody have any questions or input? I tend to go on and on and on sometimes. Okay, so Alicia, if you want to kind of explain a little bit about the stock and how that works, and just so if anybody has any other questions.
I think I did hear a voice. Did somebody want to say something?
I guess I was getting ready to suggest backing up a little bit before you get into the investment part of the shares or the stocks or what have you.
Yeah.
About the title company a little bit more.
Yeah.
Elaborate a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, meaning, and I'm assuming because you're an attorney state. Is that what what you're getting to? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to, speaking of that, so not everyone who's on the meeting today may have went to the launch meeting. So we kind of explained a little bit more about you guys' background in terms of title. Also, our branch manager, who is Marie Brooks, and her background. So Marie is on the call today. Just a little bit about Marie, if you guys didn't already meet her or talk with her. She has been has a law degree, passed the bar, has been in title for 25 years. Worked with Lennar on their the builder on their closing side, doing like 300 closings a month. And so a lot of experience on the title side. So and the other thing is Marie is also an educator, trainer. So she actually teaches people how to run title companies and teaches agents more about, how titles work. And we're going to be, of course, incorporating her into our classes and training as well. So a lot of experience on the title side. And Alicia, if you want to add anything else about the title company itself.
Yeah, I will. That's why, convenient, and I like the name and it works with American Realty Partners. That's also why we're calling it American Closing Partners, and you don't see the word title in there because that's not customary in in Georgia anyway, for the Florida people that might be here. But so the company is set up in such that I do have other entities like this in other attorney states. The company is set up in which we have partnered with attorneys, and essentially Marie is going to be your transaction coordinator, your paralegal, your go-to, your white glove service. So she, just think of her as like your go-to at any other attorney. She's going to be like that middleman person, and we've essentially negotiated amazing fees, like we were sitting inside that attorney's office, but we're not. So we're a separate entity. That way we can still create revenue and still have revenue opportunity without actually being an attorney ourselves. So I think Marie had connected with some of you. I'm not sure how that message got out, but on your Georgia purchase and sale agreement, you will be able to write American Closing Partners on the first page where it says attorney. You will be able to write American Closing Partners. The attorneys that we are using in our network, because we're actually giving them the business, technically, this came down to a technicality, and we went through everyone that we had to there with the Department of Realtors Association. Since we're handing that business off for them to actually do the final piece that has to be done per the law there, even though the purchase and sale agreement says attorney on it, it's okay that American Closing Partners is on there. So essentially, American Closing Partners will be generating revenue by doing all of the pieces and most of the pieces of the transaction, except for that final piece, which the attorney has to do. And that's really how the structure is for us to be able to operate.
Okay.
And I want to add one thing on there too. The agreement we have with the attorney firm, they're in Duluth, but they also are agreeing to travel to all of our locations at no additional cost. So we have four, our main office in Florida, of course, is Navarre, but we actually have 3 other smaller offices throughout Florida, and we have 4 locations in Georgia and a couple in South Carolina, and that we are working on. So we'll have the ability to close wherever you guys, any of our locations that you want to close in, and we'll make sure we have a list of those addresses and everything for everybody. But that was the other big benefit, is that they'll close in the office wherever we have space. Yeah, Clark.
So this is my first week.
Yeah,
I have
right.
no idea what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we have an attorney that everything goes to this attorney, is that correct?
Yeah. So what we have is we have again, it's a little bit different wording because it's Georgia, but we have a title company, which is American Closing Partners, that we created. And then we partner with an attorney firm that have mobile attorneys, because we run the closing, but we have to, in Georgia, you have to have an attorney physically, to preside over the closing. So they will come to our office, close it. The title company will run the entire closing and contract with the attorney to be present. So that's kind of how that works.
Well, if I ever
Yes.
write an offer again, or a contract, so is there, I heard her say we could use this American Closing Partners as
On the attorney line.
line. So.
And we also hold the earnest monies too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So American Realty.
American Closing Partners will hold the,
Okay.
can hold the earnest money. Yeah.
So will we need,
Can you hear me? Can I talk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I think the best way to probably explain this without making it so difficult is that I am going to be your one-stop shop. You don't have to worry about getting the attorneys. You don't have to worry about doing anything outside of that. You get your contracts, you put American Closing Partners on them, you enter them in the portal, you send them over to me. I take it from there. I'm your closer, post closer. You don't have to worry about anything else. I will make sure that
Right.
the contract gets in. We get it closed. I'll contact your buyers, your sellers, your lenders. I'll be the middle person and get everything done. You'll hear from me as far as if I need anything, as far as title clearance goes. And
Mhm.
then, I'll set up I'll set up the closing for you. I'll make sure everything's good on your buyer side, on your seller side. I'll communicate with you as if I'm doing a contract right now. I'm constantly in contact with the agents on both sides. I'm letting them know what I'm doing. I copy them on every email that I send out to their client. I take care of everything. Once you send them that contract, you just sit back and wait for me to contact you. Let me know. I'll let you know if I need anything from
Right.
you. And we schedule a closing date. I make sure all the closing date is good for everybody else, whether I have the attorney going to them or they're going to the attorney's office. I'll schedule all of that. I'll make sure everything is convenient for everybody else. We get it signed and we deal.
Yeah, that was one of the big thing was a single point of contact where you just have just Marie's contact info and she handles everything else coordinated.
All right, what about, I have a listing in another agent, says I'm gonna use
Yeah.
whomever, this
Yeah.
attorney.
So the question was, what if you have a listing and then, the other agent brings an offer in and they want to use a different attorney. And it's just like we were talking about, with this topic is we know the clients don't really care, who the
Right.
attorney is. It's going to be the agents who really care. So it comes down to communication and just, doing what you can to, you're not going to get them all. And we understand that too. It's not, and no one's going to come behind you to go, why didn't you use, whatever. We understand that you aren't going to be able to use it every single time. But in an example I made in the meeting, I said, I had a contract that I wrote with Evelyn Collum, Evelyn. And so this is a couple of years ago, and I had put a Webster firm down, and she came back and said, hey, the client said they accepted it, except for this one little change here on this deal, and they wanted to change the attorney to Alexander Royston. And I said, we were talking on the phone, and I said, Evelyn, I said, listen, I want to make this work. I said, you and I both know that clients don't care who the closing attorney is. I said, do you have an issue with using Webster firm? Is there a reason why you don't want to use it? And she goes, well, if I'm honest with you, she said, I looked them up and they're in their offices in Duluth on the internet, and I don't want to go drive to Duluth. I said, oh, okay, well, look, they'll come to our office. She goes, that's fine, just use them. So it's sometimes just a matter of, asking, hey, is there any reason why we can't use this other attorney? So, but again, we're not going to win them all. We just want to make sure we're trying our best, Stephen, did you have a question earlier or something you wanted to talk about?
I did. So will we need any kind of affiliated business disclosure with this?
Yes, we actually will. That's a good question. So there are barriers, but we are definitely going to have affiliated business disclosures that we're going to have. And by the way, we as agents can put them into our contracts, but trust and believe that Marie will be making sure that there's affiliated business disclosure in every file. And if she has to send it out herself, because that's a very important piece.
Yes.
And it's the same thing on the mortgage side as well. What's that?
I think that they just finished it and we got it uploaded. So we'll make sure that.
Perfect. Yeah. And because we'll be using those on, of course we have the mortgage company and there's some of the agents have their mortgage licenses. And of course affiliated business disclosure is going to start becoming, very common in a lot of our transactions because we'll have multiple, businesses affiliated.
Right. And just so you know, this is also the same for Florida as well. So the same way that even though Georgia is the attorney state, Florida will be the same way, which as far as, I'll be the one point of contact. I'll make sure that everything gets done. I'll make sure the title gets clear. And then also, getting it scheduled by the notaries. I'm very familiar with Florida, so I know how all the process works. I'll, get the weight as far as making sure that the buyer is going to sign here or however it works. As Shane likes to say in his examples, yes, in Florida, they can close at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
So, I'll make sure that it's convenient for your clients, however it needs to go. If they need to close on their lunch break, if they need, have someone come there. Florida's a little bit more flexible than Georgia because, in Florida, they can go anywhere to sign. So, I'll make sure that gets done. And again, as I know communication is a big thing, so I will make sure that, you know, you are in the loop, whatever side of transaction that you're on through the entire process, you know, so
Yeah.
that way you can relay the information to your clients and that we all know what's going on, good or bad or ugly. I'll make sure that you guys know about it.
And for the benefit of people who weren't in the meetings that we had, another thing I wanted to mention was a repeat, basically, is what we're wanting is we wanting you guys to look at Marie just like you would Amelia or Adam or, you know, anybody that's in our staff, in that it's not just, hey, if I have a closing, you know, call Marie. But we've already had agents to say, hey, I got a question on a legal description that I don't have a legal description, you know, whatever. And reached out to Marie. She goes on and pulls it and gets it to them. If you have a question about a closing coming up, that the attorney is telling you something that you're not clear about, call Marie and say, hey, what is this? You know, it's not that she's not just there for you to send business to. She's there to be a resource for you and be information and help you and assist you, whatever, you know, on things that you need. So, I just want people to realize that she's really going to be part of our group, not just a service that's provided, you know.
Yeah, I mean, anything. I mean, I'm versed in everything. Surveys, if you have a question about a survey, you know, property lines, anything that's on there. I mean, I do it all and I teach it all. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't be
Marie has a
unsure
school.
about anything. Don't
She
be
has a
if you're
school.
unsure about it, reach out to me.
She has a training school that she does of her title training, and it's called Yes Grow. So I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah. So, you know, with me being with the company now, I want all of you guys to feel very confident and comfortable, you know, reaching out to me, because that way you're going to relay information to your clients. So I want to make sure that you are very versed in and you're, you know, sure about what you know, the information that you're given. So any question that you're unsure about, I mean, shoot me a text, an email, whatever the case is, and I'll make sure that I get that information back to you. And as I always say, if I don't have the information at that moment, I will get the information for you and, you know, you'll get it.
That's right. Latrina, did you have something you were about to say something?
I was, but Stephen actually asked my first question. My second question was, do we have a attorney fee sheet?
I'm actually coming up with that right now. I had to work out some things with the attorney. So I actually should have that in there by tomorrow. And what I want to do is, if Shane or whoever's working on the website, if we could actually post those fees on the website. So that way it's easier for the agents to be able to go on there. Cause I've been checking out some other websites and that's kind of a common thing that they do. They will have their fees already on their website. So, you know, I had to work out some things and change. And Alicia, just so you know, I reached out to our partner attorney because some of the fees just didn't sound right. So, so I did reach out to them. We got some things together. We got it straightened out. So now our fees are good. And I actually have a preliminary fee sheet. I just kind of want to finalize it, but it should be up there by tomorrow. So either Shane, I can send it to you. And if you want to get it uploaded to the website, or if you want to just send it out to the agents, however you want to do it. And also I can, because I know you guys want to be able to know your fees beforehand, you know, so we can probably do something like that.
Perfect. And I wanted to add too, so I had someone I was talking to about this. Actually, they couldn't be here today, but she was asking me and she said, well, how much do you think the, the profit share checks will be, every quarter? And I said, well, this is obviously the very beginning. So in the first one, it may be enough for a Starbucks cup of coffee. I don't know. I said, but the goal is that we, to give you guys some perspective. So obviously last year was slower. The number of sales last year the number of sales last year in the country were the lowest since 1998. It was the number of transactions. And so if you go to 2022, which was of course, a banner year, American Realty had about 1,500 closing, and that's even before. And we've added more than 100 agents since then to our partnerships. And so in the Webster firm in 2022 or 2021 had, I think it was 350 closings with our office. So, the number, just to give perspective on what kind of volume, is realistic that we could hope to see this grow to. Again, we don't expect to get, all of the business. We just think there's a reasonable percentage of business that, that you guys can help us to drive. But if we start getting into that, 20, 30, 40 closings a month, which is realistic, I think that the profit share could be, could be substantial. It may not be, $10,000, but it could definitely be, I feel like in the thousands, it could be over $1,000. It may take a while to get there, but I think the opportunity is in front of us,
Yes, absolutely. The affiliate business agreement is going to be there. I wanted to touch on that real fast. Whether you actually are going to be using American Closing Partners or not, because American Realty owns American Closing, so you guys are going to be seeing that regardless. So don't even worry about that. That's going to be on all of your contracts now. But you probably see it now and are getting used to seeing it. If you, I'm not too sure with your exact market there, but if you're dealing with a Berkshire or if you're dealing with a local
Right.
Keller, like they're there. They already have those forms too.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
your point there, Berkshire will have they have affiliated business disclosure that goes on all their contract, and it says you may or may not be using any of these services, but these are all of our relationships. Because what could happen is, at the last minute something could change and they switch it over, and so you need to have that before on your contract. So we're going to make sure it gets done, whether you guys are doing it or we're doing it on the back end. We're going to make sure it gets done, and we may even make it in the hub where it's. I may try to figure out a way to make it where it's an automatic, click a button and it sends out for, something like that. We'll see. We're going to make it as easy as possible for everybody.
Yeah. And then just on Shane's point where, we hope that you all, who decide to join us, and become shareholders, use and support American Closing Partners. But, and you all, I think we're told are here today because you qualified, because you are the top producing agents in the company. But we hope that everybody else is going to use it, American Closing Partners as well. But I just don't hope. You're seeing everybody now offer these ancillary services. This is actually a really important part of the entire business model now. The industry has changed, and it's changed forever. The brokerages have to offer these services now. And in fact, the National Association of Realtors, say that by the end of 2024, that over 40% of all brokerages across the country are going to have in-house services. I would actually say that that number is larger if you took out all the little small mom and pops anyway out there. And that the consumer actually is excited about it. They feel like they know, trust, and like the person that they're doing business with. And in fact, I actually just came back from the Keller Williams family reunion, and I got to hear Gary speak, and he had said that 87% of transactions are done through friends, family, referrals, not through lead sources. Not that you shouldn't be doing lead sources, but it's that number is that vast, right? So my point is that you have to have these services in-house now, because you're already working with somebody that knows, likes, and trusts you. So they're going to understand or ask you, like, do you have a great lending partner? Do you have a great closing attorney referral source, right? And they're just going to go with what you say. If you say that I've had a great experience working with them, it's a smooth transaction, she's great, she'll be there to answer all of your questions. In fact, we can set up a meeting with her in 15 minutes if you would like. That's going to get them excited. And people are more educated now, right? Like, they want to be involved in the process. Most people aren't going to take you up on that 15-minute meeting, but just the fact that you offered that to set up a meeting with the closing coordinator, transaction coordinator, whatever you want to call Marie, whatever's most convenient. So, they'll appreciate that, right? And then they'll say, okay, yeah, that sounds amazing. Well, I would like to learn more about title insurance and why I need to have it and what I'm paying for. So, but it's super important. You have to have these services because they bring opportunities, not just to you for bringing these passive income opportunities, but for the brokerage, because I know that Shane puts a lot of money and resources into like the training and all the other opportunities. This extension of is now just part of the industry now. So it's going to go back to you no matter what, and back to the other agents that hopefully one day will be part of these conversations. So
Yeah, that's right. And one thing I wanted to add on there too is, we talked about, with RESPA, and of course we got the affiliated business disclosure, and on there, it will clarify that, that customers and clients can choose who they want to use for these different services, and that if they choose one of these, that we have this affiliated business disclosure, and that is the RESPA requirement. So it's not, there's not a three card rule. You don't have to give someone 3 different people. You can say, listen, you can use anyone you want to. This is my team. This is who I recommend strongly, and here's why. But if you choose, if you have someone else you want to use for mortgage, or if you have whatever, so you're going to be covered by this affiliated business disclosure in the proper disclosures for RESPA. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to. Obviously, we don't want to make someone feel like they don't have a choice, which is the point. But you can say, I highly recommend that we work with, American Closing Partners is in our office. We have direct access. You can give the benefits and say, you can use who you choose, but this is who I strongly would recommend. And most of the time, people aren't going to ask you questions. They're going to say whatever is fine. They don't even know they need to have a title company or closing attorney, until they get to the contract. So I just wanted to add that.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So does anybody else have any other just business questions about how it works or anything like that, other than the stock part? Does anybody have any operational questions or anything they want to ask?
And let me just add this.
Yeah.
I don't have business hours.
Yeah.
So your regular title company, 5 o'clock, 5:30, they shut down and you have to wait to the next business day.
Right.
You guys basically, American Realty is VIP to me. So, you got a question at 8:00 p.m., shoot me a text. If I'm not asleep, then
Right.
I'll respond,
That's
so
right.
anything, so you guys don't have to wait. It's, no normal business hours. So, even if they're working with someone else and you have a question that's not even your file, again, still reach out to me. I'll
Right.
provide service to you regardless.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
I have a quick question. How many closings have you guys done so far?
Well, we actually have orders, but we just started taking them, so we haven't had official closing.
Yeah, we had to get the operations side together and get everything streamlined. So, but we are cooking with grease right now.
Yeah. As a
Yeah,
matter of
we're
fact,
just
this is one that Ryan just got his house under contract with Rebecca Tompkins in our office, and she's not even on this call. But yeah, she would have put American Closing Partners. I don't know if that was a negotiating strategy because she knew it would pique my interest, but we already got that contract in this morning, so that's good.
Yeah, Shane, I emailed you on that. I didn't have the. I sent
Okay.
you the email. Yeah, and then I have Deborah's file too.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's.
We've actually had 2 or 3 files already that
Yeah.
fell apart during the transaction through inspections or whatever. But Cedric actually turned in one. I think it was like 2 days after Marie was hired, and she
Yeah.
was trying to scramble, but his deal fell apart. So we're but yeah, so we're getting, we got some files in now. So
Yeah.
and there's a lot of
So we are ready today.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're ready. Right.
Yep.
We
That's
are
right.
ready.
Yeah, and
Okay.
don't feel the need to use title partners. You can use closing partners because I know title,
Yeah.
is not the
Right,
word
right.
used there. So we
Yeah,
keep
American
saying
Closing
title,
Partners.
but use closing partners if you're all
Yeah.
comfortable with that with your
Yeah.
clients.
That's right.
So yeah, I'll get into the opportunity. I don't have any fancy slides or anything like that. It's more of a kind of verbal situation and explanation that I kind of wanted to cover with you today, and just the overall.
I think Marie's breaking up a little. Alicia, I think she dropped. So, well, that was a cliffhanger, wasn't it? So let's talk about the money. Click. There she is.
Okay.
Okay, Marie, Alicia, you're still muted. There you go.
Did everyone go away or just me?
Just you.
That's
You
so
left them with a
weird.
cliffhanger. You left them with a cliffhanger.
That's so, like, it just closed. I was like, wait, what, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. I'm glad I'm back. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of go briefly, cover the opportunity and, you know, what can be expected. So again, you all were invited here as, exclusive top performers. What's the reason behind that? The reason is, you know, we hope that everybody, again, is going to participate and love and use American Closing Partners, because Marie is going to offer the most amazing service, be there to help. But, you know, as a top performer, we want you to be happy. We want to keep you around, or Shane wants to anyway. I'll hopefully get to meet some of you someday, but Shane wants to keep you around, and you all earned it and deserved it. And so he is essentially offering a piece of the company. He's broken off a percentage of the company, and you all and a few that are not here, and I will have a round two, will have an opportunity to buy shares, and the shares will be based off of your historical production. It's really easy. 1, 2, 3, 4 shares. You will have a one-time opportunity to buy those shares. So we won't be reanalyzing every year. So you'll get to buy in. So after this call, I will send out a DocuSign for you to review. The shares are $250. So like Shane had said, hopefully by the end of the first full quarter, you'll get that check back. And then into the second quarter, hopefully you'll be in profit. That's the goal. And I don't know of many other investment opportunities where you can earn your money so quickly back. I know this is the first quarter, or I guess we're ending the first quarter anyway, but we're coming into season, so maybe hopefully it'll be better than that. But the shares were yeah. So the shares are $250. That covers us from a RESPA compliant. The company essentially is not worth anything at this point because we don't have any sales. But the $250, because this is a real estate transaction, the $250 is in exchange for a piece of, so you are covered with that. When you sign your DocuSign, you become a Class C shareholder into American Closing Partners, like Shane had said at the very beginning, where you have absolutely no liability into the company. So my company has been doing this for many, many years. The owner of our company is of law enforcement and military background. There is absolutely no funny business going on. We also use the #1 RESPA attorney in the country to draft up our documents and to represent us. But should something go down, you are 100% protected because you are a Class C shareholder, and you'll read that in the DocuSign. And then should you want to join, you will sign that DocuSign, and you can accept the full share amount, or full share amount that was offered to you, or less. That's up to you. And then send in your check for $250 per share that was offered. We'll open this up once a year for all new agents. So if your buddies or team members didn't make it this year, because, you know, again, it was a down year, we'll open it up once a year again on the anniversary here. So next year, agents that are on the up and up will have the opportunity to buy their shares next year or the year after, and it'll stay pretty much at that $250 mark. In that agreement that you will see, since you are a Class C shareholder, should you decide to ever leave American Realty Partners, you will be asked, or you will be signing that you will sell those shares back. So as I had explained, Shane is doing this out of the kindness of his heart because he loves you all so much and wants you to stay around part of his brokerage and be a top performer forever. If you decide to leave him, we need those shares to be able to give to, the next top producing agent. And so, if you don't keep up with your Realtors Association, if you just retire and for whatever reason, maybe have your license still hung with Shane, we can also ask you to sell those shares back. So, there is some fine print in there, you will see. And, it's really to protect you all. So if Latrina is killing it, and Sandra decides to just slip back in the background and not sell real estate anymore, she's going to be a little ticked that her shares are, her checks on a quarterly basis are going down because Sandra's not pulling her weight anymore. And that's really what that fine print is there for. We will add shareholders. As you see in the first quarter, there might be 4 or 5 people, well, hopefully more than 4 or 5, but there'll be a handful of people in the room. But next year, there might be more people in the room. Your shares might be diluted or changed at some point, just like if you own public stock, sometimes they split off. But that's actually a good thing. What does that mean? That means the company went from, a $1 billion valuation to a $30 billion valuation. The more people that we're adding, then the more volume the company has. So in theory, the higher your returns will be. So please don't ever get turned off or scared by that. Because there is a benchmark. They have to be a top producing agent. So when Shane goes to recruit a top team and they're bringing in, they're a $10 million team on buy side, they're going to be offered shares. So you're going to see more people in there. So yes, there's the pot will be split between more, but there's more. It's a higher volume amount, right? Did you want to say something, Shane?
Yeah, only based on that. The goal is that, of course, whoever is given the opportunity to get a share, the idea is that they're being able to bring in more business than they're taking from the pool of profit, if that makes sense. So we want it to be, we don't want just people adding and adding and adding because it'll dilute everyone else's share. So we want it to be, and the other piece was, as what we talked about was, with it being based on, volume, there's a threshold. And then, but as you reach different heights in your business, so like each year, let's say you're a $2 million producer this year, and next year maybe you do 4. So we're not going to give you more shares every year for your same production. But if you increase your production, then you'll have an opportunity to get that additional share. So if let's say you go from 2 million to 6 million, we may say, okay, well, you can buy 2 more shares, and they'll be at the same price. So they'll become obviously more valuable the longer we go.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is kind of a we'll talk about that year after year because people have good years and bad years. We're not going to split hairs over $500,000. That would have to be a core change in your business. If your business substantially changed, and that's a discussion that you and Shane will have to have, then you'll have the opportunity to purchase your more shares. But if you just hit it out of the park one year, because you're going to, like, there might be a year where you might not pull your weight, and that's okay. Like that's always going to happen, right? Like there's always going to be fluctuations. So you, that's why, we're a team here. So, but that's we're not going to evaluate per 100,000, every March 6th, so just to clarify. Because we don't want to take away. We would never take away. That also would be a RESPA violation. This isn't a 1-for-1. We're not paying you per the amount of deals or volume. We're offering you the shares, and you're going to get your distribution based off of your amount of shares. And to continue on that, we will disperse on a quarterly basis. So you will receive your annual, your dividends on the quarterly basis. So it is based off of the calendar year. So since perfect timing for you all here, basically. So at the end of the second quarter, you'll have a full quarter, basically, a little over a full quarter, right? At the end of the second quarter, we'll set up a meeting. Marie Brooks, your branch manager, will hold those meetings. I might hold the first one for her just to go, get with the flow, since it'll be the very first one. And in that meeting, we'll have a lunch, maybe, if we can get some people together, and we'll get everybody else on Zoom. We'll talk about the good, the bad, especially in the first couple ones, since we're just launching. Suggestions, things maybe you all want to see to make the company more successful. Marie will break down all the activities that she did to earn, not all, but some major activities that she did to earn the business, like the webinars that she held, the lunch and learns that she held, big events that she held, big milestone things. And then we'll do kind of a redacted P&L there, because you'll all be holding a check in your hand, and you're going to want to know, kind of how that was earned. And then we'll also do a capture report. So for everybody who is sitting in the room, we'll kind of just put your numbers up. We're not going to go line item. It's not to hold anybody seriously accountable, but we'll just put the chart up there. And then we'll put the rest of the team for American Realty Partners up there. So, and why do we do that? We as we're growing the company, in a lot of my other entities, I'm at about an 80% capture rate for the entire company. So it's gonna take us some time to get there. But with you as our spokespeople and our champions, and then we're going to be posting on social media that Sandra had an amazing experience with Marie, and it was a great closing, and we'll do all the fun pictures and write the testimonials and client reviews. We'll get more and more people's buy-ins, slowly over time. But we might see, a name on there that might be one of your friends or buddies or people that you see a lot in your community. And we might see that they had a great quarter, and you got a check there for X amount of dollars. And you might say, like, hey, I might be able to talk to them. Actually, I didn't realize that they weren't using Marie yet, or, and it's just, hold us all accountable and help us all grow the company together. And then that's it, kind of a fun little meeting. And so we're all working together and on the same page, and then we'll do it again the following quarter.
Yeah. Very good. I know this is a lot of information, and we did record the meeting. So I'm going to get the recording to Adam, and he's going to post it on a private YouTube channel, so we can send out the link so that, everybody can go back and, review it. And, if people have, if their spouses want to, kind of understand more about it and things like that. And of course, we'll be available for questions and things on a one-on-one basis if needed or whatever. Anybody else have any input or questions, or anybody writing a contract today? They wouldn't. I'm just kidding. And by the way, I'm going to do everything I can to drive it. So I'm going to be out there kind of, I feel like I'm going to be kind of working with you guys and for you guys, because it's going to be up to me to also make sure we're continuing to drive this business for all your benefits too.
Now, Shane, let me make sure. I know when you and I chatted, my understanding was that obviously we would try to use this business, but if we have relationships elsewhere, it's not based on the amount of business we send to this title.
That's correct. Yeah, it's only based on your overall business. So it's more like, you're representing an opportunity versus like Alicia said, it's not a one-for-one deal. And so of course, if you feel, I will say this, if you feel like you have a relationship with an attorney or title company in Florida, for example, that you are not going to be, willing or able or whatever to send business to this title company, then I would, then don't necessarily look to buy the shares, because it will be something that we'll ask, we'll say, well, so-and-so is sending this amount, and it'll be known. And not even that part, but just if you don't feel like it's something you can support, then we understand. We just would encourage you not to buy shares. But if it's something that, hey, I'll send some here when I can and some here when I can, then those are fine. We're not going to be like, we're not gonna split hairs and say, why didn't you send this deal here? We're not gonna get to that level, you know. Hope that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that is a good point. You know, it's that we don't want you to feel uncomfortable with one, using American Closing Partners, or two, buying the shares. But
Yeah.
it would make sense, you know, it has to make sense, right? And for you and for us. So, you know, if you have a relationship, we would totally understand that. Not, you know, everyone's got a relationship and or a family member or something set up where
Sure,
this
sure.
might not work. This might not be the right opportunity. But you know, you are investing in a company and would want to see it grow. So maybe it might not be the right opportunity for you if that's the case. But maybe we could have a one-on-one conversation if
Yeah.
that.
Sounds good. Anybody else have any input or questions?
You know, or I
Okay.
would leave, I would just to end this, I would say at least give it a shot, give American Closing Partners a shot, you know, let me close your deal, see what your experience is like. Again, you're just dealing with me. So, you know, there is no, you know, pre-closer, post-closer. There's not a lot of people you have to deal with. You know, if there's an issue, it's something that I have to take care of, you know, take responsibility on, make the necessary changes in order to be able to, you know, make you happy, make your clients happy. So, you know, there's no long chain of command that you have to go
Mhm.
through issue. So, you know, I would just say, you know, give us a chance, let us close the deal, let us, you know, get your experience and then go from there.
Yeah.
Relationship,
Yeah.
you know, like boyfriend and
Yeah.
girlfriend, grow out of them.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Well, I think that covers everything. I'm gonna share with Alicia, you know, everyone's email addresses so she can send you out the information just to read over. If anybody does not want to receive it, let me know and we'll you know, take off the list. But if you're wanting to look, I'm assuming everybody at least wants us to look over the documents and see what it looks like. And we'll get that sent out, and also the recording of the meeting. We'll make sure we post that too. And yeah, if anybody has any one-off questions, they want to call me directly, you know, feel free to. I'll be you know, returning calls, so be patient with me. But I'll be around all day. So, all right.
Just make sure,
What's that?
make sure that everybody has my information as well.
Oh yeah, we'll send that out along with you know, the recording and all that. We'll send an email out or whatever. So,
Perfect.
anybody have
right.
anything else?
So
All right, if not, then we'll get out there and write some contracts and put American Closing Partners on it, right? All right. All right,
Good
guys.
luck, everybody.
Thank you, guys. We'll send the recordings out.
All right.
Have a good day.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.